Fast and Furious was supposed to track guns from the United States back to drug cartels in Mexico, but investigators say the feds didn't track hundreds of those weapons, and at least 2 of them ended up at the scene of the murder of a U.S. Border Patrol agent named Brian Terry. The California Republican Darrell Issa says the Justice Department is withholding thousands of documents connected to the operation. And today, an apparently angry Congressman Issa confronted the Attorney General, Eric Holder.
We've looked at 240 custodians. We have processed millions of electronic records, and we've reviewed over 140,000 documents and produced to you about 7,600.
So 140,000 documents. How many documents are responsive but you are withholding at this time?
Well, we've produced 7,600.
Look, I don't want to hear about the 7,600.
Chairman, I would beg to allow...
The lady is out of order. Would the lady please
Mr. Chairman,
suspend?
a parliamentary inquiry...
Well. Leaked wiretap applications reveal Justice Department officials knew about the program, even though they publicly denied it. Democrats say Congressman Issa is mischaracterizing the documents. Mike Emanuel with the news live on Capitol Hill, and Congressman Issa seemed a bit displeased with the Attorney General.
Shep, no question about that. Congressman Issa and the Republicans believe that somebody at a high level had to sign off on the tactics in Fast and Furious. We heard the Attorney General today be critical and say it was the tactics were not good and the operation was not executed properly, but didn't give Issa every answer he was looking for. Here's another exchange.
Have you and your attorneys produced internally the materials responsive to the subpoenas?
We believe that we have responded to the subpoena.
No, Mr. Attorney General, you're not a good witness. A good witness answers the question asked. So let's go back again.
So there you have a little bit of a tense situation during a 4.5-hour hearing. Overall, Attorney General Holder seemed to stay pretty calm, but it was pretty clear that some of the Republicans were getting frustrated because they've issued subpoenas and they don't feel like those subpoenas have been answered. Shep.
Well, did anybody have his back? I mean, the Attorney General getting beat up in there.
Well, it was interesting because some Democrats were angry with him over other issues, but one Democrat did step up to his defense, suggested that the Republicans are trying to embarrass Mr. Holder and the Obama administration. Take a listen to this.
The operative phrase that comes to mind since bad witness has been used is pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Mr. Attorney General, welcome to Oz.
Even though there was a Wizard of Oz reference there, this is serious business. There are some lawmakers talking about contempt of Congress for the Attorney General, which would open up a whole other can of worms. Shep.
Yeah, I'll say. Mike Emanuel up on the Capitol Hill. And with us now is Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. What are we I know partly what we're witnessing is politics, but what's the rest of it?
Well, the rest of it is the fact that this Brian Terry, this agent, died, and the House of Representatives, particularly the Republicans, see an opportunity to blame his death on the Obama administration's Justice Department's ignorance of the program. What's also at work here is the fact that the investigators for the House of Representatives have received documents which were stolen by somebody in the Justice Department. They were supposed to be under seal because they were applications for a search warrant. An application for a search warrant does not become a public document unless and until someone is charged with a crime and evidence from the search warrant is relevant. So you have the Attorney General being accused of not being forthcoming with documents, and you have the committee being accused of having documents it's not lawfully supposed to have. And all of that came to a head today. But I will say that Attorney General Holder seems to be antagonizing them and making matters worse each time he's there. This shouldn't be a Republican or a Democrat issue. This Fast and Furious thing started in the Bush administration, but it didn't sort of get wind until Eric Holder became the Attorney General and the Republicans took control of the House.
You say he's antagonizing him. Is he doing so by not answering the questions that they ask? Or?
Well, he's not answering the questions the way they want them answered. Now, most respectfully to Congressman Issa, interrupting an answer saying you're not a good witness is the type of thing that would never happen in a courtroom. It's a highly inappropriate statement. It
well, it gets a soundbite. I mean, that's why you do it.
Absolutely, it does. But there are serious issues here, and the serious issues are who knew about this and when did they know about it? Because the concept of letting guns get into the hands of dangerous criminal gangs is so contrary to what we expect federal law enforcement to do, and nobody is taking responsibility for it.
And really, nobody's talking about the bigger picture of why this is happening. The reason this is all happening is because of our insatiable desire for drugs and our draconian laws, which make this happen.
And
right?
because somebody...
Or is that not right?
Well, I happen to agree with you. I happen to agree with you that the drug problem at the border would be far lessened if minimal amounts of recreational drugs were not illegal, then the price of them would go down and the gangs would go out of business. But nevertheless, at the present time in our history, they are illegal. The federal government is supposed to enforce the law. Can they enforce the law by letting the bad guys, the guys who kill people in order to sell drugs, get guns? That's what they thought they could do. It was boneheaded. It was wrong. It has happened in the past. But no one will bear responsibility for it, and that's the frustration that Congress has, and the Attorney General is feeding rather than lessening that frustration.